So in today's video, we are going to go take a ride on the motorcycle with a friend down to the Ohio River ghost ship. There is a lot to cover about this ship, so during this, enjoy the video clips of us riding down there. So let's start out in 1902. It was built for a J. Rogers Maxwell that worked for the railroad company. It was originally a yacht named the Celt. When World War I begun in 1914, the Navy started renting private boats that might be able to outrun and spot enemy submarines. In July of 1917, the Navy got a hold of the Celt, renaming it the USS Sachem, and used it as a coastal patrol yacht. They loaded it up with depth charges and machine guns, and put her to work to defend us against enemy submarines. They also decided to use her for research and experiments and new ways to defend against them. And they enlisted none other than Thomas Edison to conduct those experiments. Edison did his work aboard the USS Sachem, mostly around the New York harbor until the war ended in 1918, when his funding also ended. It was then returned to her current actual owner, Manton Metcalf, in February of 1919. It was later sold to a banker named Roland L. Taylor, and then to Jacob Martin of Brooklyn, New York, in 1932, who converted it to a fishing boat. It was reacquired by the Navy in February of 1942 for $65,000 and converted for naval service. It was commissioned as USS Fenakite in July of 1942. Her job this time was to patrol the waters off of Florida Keys during World War II. She was decommissioned and undergo modifications and placed back into service in November of 1944. She was then used for testing sonar systems till she was put out of service in October of 1945 and transferred to the Maritime Commission for disposal. The vessel was then returned to her previous owner and renamed the Sachem again in December of 1945. It was later resold this time to become the flagship of a new Circle Line sightseeing cruises in New York City. This is where she was once again renamed to the Sightseer. And later, it was again renamed, this time to the Circle Line 5. In the early 1980s, the boat was cut from the Circle Line fleet and left at an abandoned pier in New Jersey, where it sat until 1986. The abandoned Circle Line was then bought by a Cincinnati resident, Robert Miller, in 1986, that bought it for $7,500. Miller said it took him 10 days to repair the boat and get her seaworthy again. One day while working on the ship, a rep of Madonna showed up and asked if they could use it in one of her videos. If you watch the music video Papa Don't Preach by Madonna, you can see it, but only briefly. Eventually, Miller decided to bring the boat back in some land he owned in Petersburg, Kentucky. He sailed from New York City, through the Great Lakes, down the Mississippi River, and onto the Ohio River. Once he got to his property, he turned the boat down the creek, and there she lays. That pretty much sums up the story from 1902 to the present day. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get to it. It seems like there was a few kayakers that came while we were down there. Obviously, fishing boat, any kind of small boat can get to it from the Ohio River. This clip right here is how we came on the bikes via road on the Kentucky side. Obviously, we went across the ferry from the Indiana side to Kentucky just because road trip. So this is parking that you have coming up to it, and then the pathway down to the ship itself.
I see it from here. Yeah. Yeah, it's not too far off. I mean, on the Google Maps, it was showing me a little farther and then straight down, but I figured that was the path. This was the path. Well, on Google Maps, they had some photos of, like, you know, my bike down here. I mean, technically, I could get my bike down here if I took my saddlebags off. But out of respect for the block, so I'll leave it alone. Swimming off now. Hang on here. Oh, I bet they're huge. I mean, look at it. See the back of the one down there where the sun meets the water? See the big rocks? Yeah. Come this way. It's a big shadow moving. Oh, I see it. Yeah. They keep coming to the surface right there. It's fucking huge. I bet. And we're still, what, 100 yards away? There it is. Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah. There's already people down here. Dude, there's two of them. Look, close to the bank. Is that a catfish? Big one right there. They're a catfish or sucker. I bet you. I bet you. See this path right here? I bet you people come down here. See them? Yeah. It is a catfish. Some big fish in here. Well, now you know where to come to. It's easy to find. Yeah, that's pretty good size.
Well, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching all the way through. And if you guys have ever been here or have any other ideas for me to go adventure within Indiana or the surrounding states, let me know down in the comments. And obviously a thumbs up and a subscribe would be awesome.